Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today it's Saturday the 3rd of February. The 6930 isn't cutting the hedges at the moment because I've got to finish servicing it, so it's in the workshop behind me there waiting to be serviced. And I've still got this flu which I'm trying to get over, and I thought I'd talk to you today about the French farmers and their protesting. They seem to have come to a conclusion in France with the government, so basically the farmers now have got some results, and it's going to be interesting to see over the next couple of months whether the French government does concede to the French farmers and it has listened to them. So as a farmer, you know, it's difficult to adhere to the new green policies which the government and these corporations are trying to basically push onto us farmers. It's really, really difficult for me to provide them with a solution because, you know, I haven't got a solution to the green policies on this farm. And this is why it's been really interesting watching the French farmers over in France do what they've done, because they are getting results and they're basically, you know, they're getting what they want out of the government in regards to producing food, not putting their farmland down to the environment, basically. And there's very few countries in the world which has a support network of farmers like in France. It is really quite a special country, the most visited country in the world, and with good reason as well. They've got great food, great architecture. In France, food is valued very high. They would rather drive, you know, just an old beaten up second-hand car and live well with good food than sort of have the latest iPad or the latest whatever it is. They're not that materialistic when you compare them to, say, other Western nations such as the UK and America. The French are very chilled out, and I do like their approach to life. We need to be a little bit more French. And speaking to some of our farming neighbours today, I've noticed that a lot of people have been inspired in the farming communities in this country. People have been so inspired by the French. Sort of some farmers have been saying, well, should we be protesting? Should we be getting up? You know, I know the Funky Farm was talking about this the other day, and Tom Pemberton and Olly blogs and all the other good people out there who are promoting farming in a good light. And you sort of think, well, you know, in this country, it's really hard to protest. Maybe at like the tractor runs, we could do a protest at Christmas time. That's certainly in this county, in Norfolk, that's when most of the farmers I've seen on tractors get together. And there's a front weight in the grain store. I thought maybe we could put like a farming Union Jack on the front of it, although I'm not sure if we should use the Union Jack because of Brexit. But then I think we have to put a white and red flag on the tractor, but then I don't know if we could use that one either, because I don't know, maybe I'm going to have to come up with a flag of some description to put on the tractors at the tractor runs, because we do go through some villages and maybe that would promote farming. Although that being said, I just don't know whether the general public would get behind farmers on such a large scale like they did in France and Europe. You know, Europe is it's a very social place. The people are very connected to some degree. And I feel as though in the UK, we seem to be a little bit more divided. I don't know if it's just me. But maybe if we could all come together at some point, maybe at a tractor run, we'll do something. Maybe whether it's the Larding Day boxing run around here, or there's some summer tractor runs, we could do something. But it is really, really hard, you know, for UK farmers to stand up against the green policies, whereas in France, they are doing quite well against it, and they're getting some results. And the farmers over there are going to be producing food for their country, and the government will basically reward people for growing food in France and not in other countries, not in other parts of the world, where you don't know, you know, the standard of food, you don't know how well it's been produced. And unless we went to the extent of the French farmers in this country, we're probably not going to see that. We're going to see implementation of, you know, you've got to drive the electric tractors, you know, they're going to implement the green policy, we'll be more reliant on food imports. And so that, in that case, you have to tip your hat at the French farmers. So it's quite a sad day, I think, for the British farmer, but also a positive day for the French farmer. So I think they've really, I tip my hat at our French neighbours, and I'll try and visit France later on this year, go on holiday there if I can get away at some point, and just speak to some more French farmers. We did speak to a French farmer last year on the channel. It was a great conversation. So we'll try and do that. Shout out to all the French farmers if you watch the channel. I know there's a few French farmers in the comment section. Bonjour. And absolutely fantastic part of the world. Hopefully we can do something in this country to protest, but I just don't think it's going to be on the big scale that we need to to promote the farming here in this country. And I just really, if anything, have more respect for the French. I have more respect for the French, for their way of life, for the passion they have for agriculture, the way they stick together. You know, the protest in France must have been so difficult to organise, you know, the logistics of it all. When the French move, they move as a unit, as one, in a union. That's why the government listens to them. They weren't just protesting in Paris, it was Bordeaux, Toulouse, all the other cities, Lyon. The whole of France is orchestrated with the farmers. So, and the logistics of that, to accomplish that, is very difficult because it revolves around everyone working together. And if everyone doesn't work together, like, for example, in this country, we seem to be a bit more divided, it would be very difficult to orchestrate that. So what they've done is absolutely fantastic in France and all across Europe as well. Germany, the Netherlands. It's very, very difficult to do that. And there's a lot of farmers arrested for it as well. And, you know, you think about the passion. You know, they've got a lot of passion there. You know, to be willing to die for something is quite remarkable. You know, the extent of it, you do have to respect that. And as I say, if anything, I've got so much more respect now for the European farmers than I've ever had. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just wonder about this country, what we could do. I can't see us protesting in the same way. Leave a comment in the comment section down below whether you think we should do anything in this country or not. I mean, mainly it just revolves around, you know, TV shows like Clarkson's Farm has been very good in this country for promoting agriculture, and social media as well. So we're just going to have to keep using the social media, I guess. Keep waving that flag if we can. Keep going down to the farmers markets. Sell your meat and produce locally if you can. We're in talks with the local butchers for supplying them with some of the Aberdeen Angus off the farm. We've got the spring barley as well, which we could maybe even sell to other farmers for fattening animals. Trying to keep things as local as possible if we can. And really, you know, if you want to talk about a green policy, that's the most green aspect of a farm is selling the produce, you know, within a 50-mile radius. So, you know, that's what we could try to do more of, rather than get an electric tractor, which is, you know, isn't going to run any of my implements. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend. And I'll be out on the tractor tomorrow, servicing at the moment, and then we'll be back out on the hedge cutter. But let me know about the protest and what you think. Click here to subscribe to the channel. And click here to watch another Olly's Farm video.